and welcome to Flosstube number 10. I am, is it number 10? Yes, number 10. I'm Jo, Stitchy Cat Lady 26 on here and on Instagram, and this is my channel mostly about cross stitch with a little bit about my cats. Not a lot going on life-wise. Work is carrying on as normal. I'm still enjoying it. I'll be redoing the window the next couple of days, so that's going to be fun. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan, by this time next week we'll have a new boiler, so the house will be lovely and warm, not costing us much to run, and with hot water on tap. Owner's just come in. Other than that, no life updates. So should we just get straight on with the WIPs? I've done 5 different WIPs this week, in this fortnight, to fit in with Magical Stitches prompts, including non-cross stitch, but I'll show you that in a little bit. So I wrote these down as I did them, so I'll show you in order. The first one I did was Bellatrix. This is my first Bella Filippina design and I love her. She's amazing. Lots of beads, lots of cryonic, although I have substituted one of the cryonics for a carom water lilies. I just happened to have had an order of water lilies come in and one of the colours just subbed in nicely for the cryonic that you couldn't get for love nor money. So that's the main design. So I will put a before photo up. She's a bit of a beast. Luna's playing. So basically I worked on her skin, head and hair. So that's, you can just see where the holes are here. There'll be beads. The earring is mostly beads with just a little bit of metallic. So she's now coming on quite nicely. Get rid of the ends. So Bellatrix has a face. Sorry for the noise. Luna decided now is a good time to come and play. Okay, the next WIP that I worked on was the Cryptid Stitch Along by Bewitched. Technically the stitch along is over. We've had the last part, which I have stitched, but I'm now going backwards. I'll pop in a photo of what the finish should look like and where I started with this. So Bigfoot is finished and I've made a good start on the Kraken. So I think I'm just going to work down for this piece next, which I think is Dover Demon, and then back up to the top. So I've got Deathworm, can't quite remember what's there, Nessie and a Who. So I will actually do the frame as I go because I am not leaving that to last. I am loving these to the point where I'm just getting more and more of Witchy Stitches stuff. The third WIP I worked on was Fairy of the Rainbow by Joan and Elliott. Oh, Bellatrix is done on 28 count Bewitched from Polstitches. Cryptids is on 32 count Zeus by Jodyri Designs, and the variegated threads in Cryptids are also from Jodyri. Okay, so Fairy of the Rainbow, Joan Elliott. So this was the piece that she designed for the Polstitches retreat in 2019. I pre-ordered it as full kit, and I got Joan to sign it because she was there, and being the lovely person she is, she did. So the last time you saw this, I mean, I will put a photo up, but the last time you saw this, I'd got this bit of green done. So since then I've added more of this and this. Still not properly on the dress. I think that'll be somewhere down here. These are still sashes, but I kind of want to get those done before I work on the dress proper. So that was about 300 or 400 stitches, I think. Just love the colours in this. The last cross stitch I've worked on, I actually haven't used it for, did I use it for my games? Can't remember now whether I used it in my games. I've decided to join in on Mill Hill Mondays. I first saw this mentioned by Lancashire Stitcher Lynn. She's done some of the bigger 6x6 pictures with it, but then a couple of the girls in the coven said they wanted to do something. They've got the same one, which isn't the one I've done. So it's a Mill Hill Monday bead kit. This is Boris the Bat. So I only worked on him Monday evening, just got a couple of hours in. And this is the result. So he's done on 14 count black perforated paper. Everything comes in the kit, including a normal needle and a beading needle. So I think he's going to be really cute. So I'm doing that with SABLE Creations, DNA Geek Crafts, Mad Morty, and Nightmare Before Stitchmas. I've not really had much interaction with Nightmare Before Stitchmas before, Maxine, but she seems really nice. So yeah, Mill Hill Mondays are a go. And finally, one of the prompts in Magical Stitches for last week was to work on another type of needlework. Cross stitch is mentioned in the focus books, but it is a needlework shop, so there's all sorts of embroidery mentioned in the first book. You've got cross stitch, you've got crewel work, and having already read all the books, I know going forward there's all sorts of different embroidery techniques, like ribbon embroidery, black work comes into it at various places. So the prompt was to work on another type of needlework. You just have to show noticeable progress. So I will show you we'll put the start photo up, but this is what I'm working on. So I did the star, the lamppost and the roof. I'm varying between 1 and 2 strands of thread depending on how thin the lines are. The design is Magical Bookshelf Stitchery by Polstitches Designs. The fabric isn't dead straight, the books are straighter than that, don't worry. This is a very old hoop. I've had this hoop since I was 8 when my nan bought me this, and you know, one of the tablecloth doilies, which I never ever did finish. So yeah, the star, the lamppost and the roof, and I've used a mixture of backstitch and a bit of stem stitch on the lamppost. So yeah, that's fun. I'm actually thinking of maybe taking this little bit out and redoing it as French knots. Yeah, take something out and redo it as French knots rather than taking out French knots. It just feels like they might work a bit better. So that's all my WIPs. Oh, what I'm doing, Jo's idea when she does designs these stitch trees is red work. So you basically take 2 shades of red, do all the work in those 2 shades, alternating the darker and the lighter, to get a variegated effect without having to mess about with variegated thread. I'm taking that to the next level. I'm doing the top shelf in reds, and I have bags and bags with different colours in. So what I'm doing is basically just grabbing a random thread from my pile of reds for the top shelf. I've got a little pile of browns for the actual shelves themselves, and the middle shelf I will be doing in shades of purple, and the bottom shelf I'm going to do in shades of blue. I have no idea how long this is going to take me, but I'm having fun with it. I don't pick it up very often, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do tend to do my embroideries, put them in the hoop, in the well, as Son of a Stitch called it. So the back is flat. It just really does make it easier if you're working near the edges of the hoop to weave your ends in. It's surprisingly helpful. So that was my stitchery. I've done a couple of model stitches for Jo, so go and have a look on her website. If you look for the floral wreath and the Nature's Hourglass, they're mine. Right, haul. As you can see, the bag is here, and there's actually something in it this week. The day I published my last video, which took me a couple of days, my Jodyri delivery arrived. So we have January 2022 Year of Colour. It doesn't seem to have a name. It's part of the bright stroke dark option. So it's nice bluey pink, combine it to make purple. So I love purples, and she always serges the edges, so nice and secure. I also got my 10 Thread Club threads. So this gets me up to number 50. So I've only got 3 months left of that before I've come full circle. So I'll be cancelling it then, just topping up the ones that I use, and spending my money on something else, because I will find something else to spend it on. In January I also ordered the limited edition, which was called Lilac Smoke. It's a very pale opalescent, again 28 count. Did I go there? Nope, I went with a 32 count on this one for a change. Again serged, and 2 skeins of the matching thread. So again, no idea what I'm going to use them for. That's not the point. Stash acquisition beyond life expectation, or SABLE, is an entirely different hobby to cross stitch. They are definitely separate. So also this last fortnight, Polstitches did a grab it while you can grab bag sale. So that's basically where she's trying to clear some space for new stock. And I got the 28 count variety pack. I just asked for the mixed one. And I was successful. So there's no names. I do sometimes wonder how much thought Jo puts into these, because she always seems to get it spot on for me, what I like, but also a little bit outside of my normal comfort zone, but not much. So we have a pale blue. Again, I've not opened these up fully, so I don't know the full colour, so I've got little pictures of grey. I'm thinking this might work really well for the Lakeside Needlecraft Crystallise stitch along, which I've got the threads. I haven't started yet because I haven't picked my fabric, so that might work. I'm going to be doing a floss toss. I have this, which actually looks a lot like the fabric that I'm doing the Nora Corbett Peacock on. And if it is the same, I'm not mad about that, because that's fabulous fabric. Purple and green. Mostly green, opalescent. These are all 28 count. So very shades of green. Definitely opalescent. So a Flosstube, a new Flosstuber to me that I watched, I'll tell you a little bit more about in a minute. It's a duo that filmed together, but they also had a guest, and they were talking about the sweet spot for fabric. Not the guest hadn't been stitching. I've been stitching a few years, but not a lot. She was saying she still hadn't found her sweet spot for fabric. She'd only recently started stitching on Evenweave, and this was in October. My sweet spot is very definitely 28 count. So everything sort of comes out the equivalent of 14 count size, but working on Evenweave, it's a lot easier when you've got fractionals, and it just looks nicer for the finished object because you haven't got the big blocks and holes that you get with Ada. It's just a much smoother finish. I personally don't particularly like linen. It's not an even weave because it's a natural fibre. You get little slubs and bumps along the length of the thread. The thickness of the fibre along its length varies quite considerably, varies quite visibly, and it can make your crosses look distorted, rectangular rather than square. So I don't use linen for that reason. So yeah, my fabric sweet spot is definitely 28 count, although I do quite like stretching up to 32 now and then, as in Cryptids. So talking of Flosstubers I've watched, these two are actually linked. I've already mentioned one, Nightmare Before Stitchmas, Maxine. I thought since I was doing a stitch along with her, I'd better go and have a look at her Flosstube. Now I believe she's been quite active on Instagram for a while, but only did her first Flosstube a few weeks ago, and she's already got more than double the number of subs that I have. I'm not jealous at all. As Amber said in her recent Flosstube, Rowan with Stitcher, that I watched literally minutes before starting to record this, it's not about the subs for us. we're quite a niche little group in the cross stitch world anyway. To get the large numbers like Darcy, you know, like Stitchman Darcy, like Crisscross Stitch, like Teresa Little Stitches, you've got to have something special, or you've got to be the first. Certainly for me, it's more about being part of the community. I've made some brilliant friends through the coven. They've been very encouraging. I was actually part of the initial coven before I ever did Flosstube. But they'd already done, all of them had already done them, so they were very encouraging and helpful. And that's what we're all about. We're all about encouraging each other and supporting each other. I mean, my subs are weird. I will go up and down one every couple of days, and then I'll have a bit of a jump, and then it'll be up and down, up and down, up and down. So yeah, we think it's bots involved there somewhere. So yeah, Maxine's only got the one Flosstube up at the moment, but it's well worth a look. She's got some gorgeous projects, some lovely WIPs on the go. I hope to see a few more finishes at some point. She's very much a Halloween stitcher. So Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, she's got some great stuff up there. But I would like to see some of them, well, her previous finishes. I think that's really interesting to see how people evolve from their first pieces. I know I changed so much in my taste, in my technique. So yeah, go give her a watch. She's fun and well worth the time. Okay, following on from Maxine, I watch videos on the TV, and obviously it comes up with recommendations. I just put a search for Nightmare Before Stitchmas, and in that search came up Cryptid Stitches, who I've heard mentioned quite a lot. Crisscross Stitch is supposed to be doing a stitch along on Sleepy Hollow with one of the Cryptid Stitches, Steve. I believe Steve's got a lot further. I believe his Instagram is Crafty Old Man UK. So I thought, you know, this video's come up with Maxine as a guest. Let's go give it a watch. Non-stop laugh riot. Honestly, it was just so much fun. If you're feeling a little bit down at any point, just go and watch their video from October. I think it was October 24th. But they're all made up. Maxine is Beetlejuice, Steve is the nun, Hannah's a witch with green face, so I'm assuming it's the Wizard of Oz green witch, whose name just completely escapes me, and I've never watched Wicked. So I am going to go and watch some more of theirs, and when I told them that, Steve came back to me and said, "Are you really sure you want to do that?" I was like, "I'll risk it," you know. They were that much fun, to the point where sometime after watching it, my husband said, "What was all that noise earlier on, all that laughing and giggling?" It's like, oh, it's just a Flosstube. People having fun. It happens. So I will be watching more of theirs as well. I think they're up to coming up for a dozen maybe. So not too many to sort of go and have a good browse through the back catalogue. Right, I think that might just be it. Luna got bored and left. Right, sorry about that. Telephone interruption. Husband's upstairs, his phone's downstairs. This is Luna. She's got on a bit baldy, she's got a couple of scratches. So I believe we're just in the process of saying goodbye. So if you've watched to the end and have liked what you've seen, please pop a like on. If you have any questions, please ask them below. if you have any comments, by all means, constructive criticism, welcome. Sorry, I love this girl. So yeah, pop us a like, pop us a comment, subscribe. All these things just help. So talking of community, be kind to each other, look after each other. It's really cold here this time of year. We've got a big storm coming in the next couple of days, so please keep an eye on your neighbours, especially anyone elderly or on their own, because we all need to look out for each other these days. So I shall see you again in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.